好，经过上次的任务，接下来要前往下一个地点。不过这段时间我有稍微赚了一些钱啦。赚钱的方法是去参加这个射箭场。射箭场虽然我的射箭技术很差，不过还是赚得到钱，还是赢得了啦。就前往我们下一个目的地。哇！路上要2次强盗，几个人？2个人？3个人？不要！啊！你还要狗狗？哦！我死定了！快跑啊！啊！一直被拉回来。哦！啊！路上真危险。好，我现在到了这边的旅店了，那我直接从这里自己骑马过去哦，往西南方移动，路过河，在前面呢，拉迪亚刺客，我们就到处找人问问看吧。有没有地方先给我洗个脸啊？不然每个人都说我脏兮兮。皮匠。
God be.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Have you ever heard of him?
Sure. Why wouldn't I? That's what they call my son.
哦，这么刚好。
Ah, you wouldn't happen to know where he is?
第一个就问到他爸爸。
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hinek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
3个都差不多，有麻烦7加2。
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
哦，成功了。
He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hinek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you.
盗猎的藏身处。
Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hinek never told me nothing.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know?
He had money because he sold the stuff right away.
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then.
酒馆老板。
I'd like to talk to you about your Hinek.
I'm very busy, so make it quick.
Do you at least know any friends he's with or someone he goes to see?
As far as I know, nobody here in the village talks to him.
No one at all?
No, no one. Tanning and currying stink, you know. He has nobody but me, and you can see how he treats his old man, the ingrate.
因为制皮匠啊，就是要处理这些动物身上的皮嘛，所以会那些血啊什么的都味道不是很好闻，所以在当时的村子里面，就是会比较不受大家的喜欢呐。酒馆在北边。 这个哦。
My respects to you.
So you know this Hinek? Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
No one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
Why do they call Hinek Riki anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you're ever downwind of him, you'll understand. Tanning isn't a trade for the weak of stomach.
True enough, but not every courier gets cursed with a name like that.
Well, the Hinek's nature is no sweeter than his smell.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his old man, he doesn't talk much to anyone. And then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Ratai for thieving. And in Neuhof, he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies, and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits.
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
He's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches, Adela.
澡堂女工阿黛拉，
Good luck to you.
酒馆掌柜。那我们刚刚已经问到一位，再
I
来
want
问一
to
个
ask about the courier's son, Hinek.
Then ask someone else. They've nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
哎，
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I just need to know where Riki is. It's urgent.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's likely Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him, and it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
All right,
从
all
劝
right.
诫变成威胁
Give
了。
me your word of honor. You won't tell anyone about our deal.
You have my word.
Fine. So, what do you want to know?
I hear Hinek has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
But I happen to know it's a dark place, a cave or an old mine shaft.
how do you know that?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.
And do you know of any mine shafts nearby?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village.
西
up in the
边、
woods
东
above the
边
cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close
进
to
水
the
的
water.
高地。
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft.
谢谢提醒。
Take care now.
哦，有个还蛮远的。然后澡堂女工也可以谈话，澡堂在哪？啊，在下面呢。哦，找到了。我洗到身体了。
Good evening.
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinek, so I came to ask you about him.
Aye, I've seen him often enough. I don't know what I could tell you about him.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
哦，有所隐瞒哦。
Look, Hinek's my friend, and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms? No. More like hares or other game.
So Hinek is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who
所以是卢博死掉的那晚。
that he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding in the western corner.
All right, thank you.
God bless.
好，应该村里能问的问完了，所以我们就要去找咯。然后那些钱应该是可以去挖出来了。刚刚都问到说伐木工这边好像更有机会哦，那我们就去这边的洞窟看看吧。这里吗？诶，哦，有哦。找到了。
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you've no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
I come here in the name of Sir Radzig Kabila and Sir Hanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the raid on the Neuhoff stud farm.
Got no idea what you're on about.
Save your breath. If you want any chance to escape the gallows, you better come clean, all right?
Jesus Christ. This will never be over.
So?
Fine then.
That Neuhoff raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there, mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhoff. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh and Pius Pava. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest and he'd mostly find the jobs for us. Plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhoff too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your two gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. Well, that was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. Hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sods pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. I knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
That's all I need to know. So now what do I do with you?
Well...
Hey, over here!
哇，被找到了。
Chief, we found the cave. Shut up. He'll hear you.
Oh, shit. Runt's people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they don't know I'm here. The 2 of us can take them by surprise.
No. No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
3个人。好，先喝个药水。
Hey, who's there?
先下手为强。
What's going on there? Look what's come crawling out from under some rock. Gone weak at the knees.
可以。快点，瑞奇出手。有了！哦，好强啊！你好强啊！我先搜刮一下。
Am I imagined?
哎，你也会搜刮？啊，先问话，怕你把东西抢光光。
What? Who is this runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before, but he's massive and scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush will want to hear what you've got to say.
Don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
哈，带走、杀了、消失。好了，看在我们并肩作战过一场，你走。
Might be best if you disappeared. You're no use to me anymore anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll remember this till the day I die.
Best just try living honestly.
I'll do my best. I promise.
好，所以这个任务算是完成咯。所以下一个步骤要去模仿那边在西北边的区域。那这里应该也会先准备一下，休息一下，打理这些状况啊，告一个段落了。